Hi, welcome to this episode of AnimeCons TV. A few weeks ago, Elizabeth showed you how to pack for a convention when you're traveling overnight and you've got to travel on a plane and whatnot. Well, this week I'm going to talk about packing for a day trip. That's where you're just going to the convention for the day and then headed back home. So you don't need all the overnight stuff. You don't need to plan for the hotel. Maybe you're driving there, maybe somebody's dropping you off, but the best way to do that is if you have a car, you can always leave stuff in the car. If you buy something, you can go back and put it in the car, and then it's kind of your base of operations. But if you don't want to leave something in the car, or if you don't have a car, if you're taking the bus down or a subway or something, there's some things you can do to make it easier for you at the convention. First, I would recommend getting a nice bag. This one's a backpack, which is good, so I don't have to carry it on just one shoulder. And it's got multiple pockets, and so I can put stuff here that I need to get to easily, or here's a good place for a phone or something, and different pockets inside. And so this is good for a day trip. And what we want to put inside are some supplies to get us through the day. We'll start with bottled water, because it's very expensive at the convention. You probably want a bigger bottle than this, but it's good to have with you. If you're there at lunch, you may want something flavored for lunch. You have a soda or a juice, so you can pack one for that, and maybe even pack a sandwich, plan your lunch ahead of time. Then you're not waiting in line for some vendor to give you overpriced food. Let's see, if you want a snack later, nice healthy apple or some sort of fruit is always a good option, and it should keep for the day in your bag. And you know, you've got downtime at the convention, so you may want to have an iPad or some sort of other thing. Maybe you have to get online, or if you're doing a panel, you can do it from the iPad. And so I have mine in a case to help protect the screen, because I don't want it just rattling around in the bag by itself. And there's a separate pouch here. I can put that in. Of course, the phone. I'm actually not going to put this in my bag because I want to carry it on me. I'll keep it in my coat pocket and someplace safe where nobody can just grab it. I don't want to put it in my back pocket because anybody can just come and yoink. And I don't want to put it in my bag because I won't hear it ring. And also, if for some reason I lose my bag, I don't want to be separated from my phone. So I'll keep that separate. Also, a charger. Definitely bring one of these, because if you're using your phone a lot, you don't want to be caught without a charge. And so you can just plop down somewhere next to an outlet and charge up, or bring an external battery, and then you don't even need to be next to an outlet. You can charge up using that while you're in a panel. So we'll put this in this pocket here. I like to bring a USB drive. You never know when somebody's like, oh, I've got these pictures, let me give them to you. And so this is a good way to just, oh, here, put them on this. And they cost next to nothing and take up no space, so it's a good thing to have on you. More snacks. I've got some trail mix granola bars. This is protein bar, and these are good options. You don't want to rely on sugar with candy bars all the time, because it'll get you on a sugar high and then you crash. But the granola bars are good to help you get through the day. In terms of staying healthy, I recommend some antibacterial hand wipes. You're going to be talking to a lot of people and shaking hands and doing who knows what you're going to be touching, I don't know. But if there's one person at the convention that's sick, there's a good chance a lot of people are going to leave sick, especially if you're one of the people that high fives everybody. And so it's good to just, you know, wipe your hands every now and then with some hand wipes. And you can also wipe your screen. This is a microfiber cloth for my phone and for the iPad. And it's branded, this one, but you know, any microfiber cloth, and you can even use it on your glasses, you know, if you get a smudge. And so I'll keep this in here. Sharpies. If you're getting autographs, a lot of times the guests will have their own Sharpies, and especially if you're in an autograph session, it's pretty much a given. But if you're anywhere else and you happen to run into them, maybe you're just passing each other in the hall or something, who knows. It's good to have a Sharpie with you, and Now, I don't recommend going up to the guests if they're eating, but after dinner, maybe, if you catch them, that's fine. Just don't interrupt their meal. But Sharpie's always good, and also some notepads or note cards. It's handy for just taking notes because you can put stuff in your phone or in the iPad or whatever, but if you need to write a note for somebody, like, oh, here, let me give you my email address, you can write it down here, or here's that website I was talking about, you can put it on some note cards and just hand it over. And you don't need a whole piece of paper. Mostly you're just handing out a little note card. And if you're making a lot of contacts, you're doing some networking, you probably want business cards. And so I've got these AnimeCons TV business cards with some art on the back. These were made at moo.com, and they're kind of tiny little cards, and you can put alternating art on the back. So a lot of people, cosplayers will do this a lot. They'll put their website and everything on the front, and then on the back, different cosplay photos. But here we've got different art for the site and the podcast. And but it says where the address is, and my email, and my name. And so yeah, business cards are good to have if you're a cosplayer. Here's my website. Oh, let me have a copy of that photo, email it to me, and it's good to have. And with the picture on the back, they won't forget who you are. It's better than just a name, because everybody forgets names. Another good promotional item are these ribbons. I discovered this at Gallifrey 1 a few years ago, and everybody was handing these out to everybody else. These most of them there seem to be printed from Marco Promos. If you go to marcopromos.com, you can get your own custom ones printed with whatever you want. I went to Nerdtacular, and they were doing some there too, and different podcasts at Nerdtacular had different things. We have DTNS Patreon, This Ribbon Kills Chords, Currently Geeking, FSL Tonight, I'm a Laser, I'm a Sword and Laser, or Factor Fictional. But you can just hang them from the bottom, and if you bring some and all your friends bring some, you may start a thing. And people seem to like hanging these from the bottom of their badges. So if you have a website, good promotion, or if you just want to say something funny, whether it's like This Ribbon Kills Chords, fine. And if you look at pictures of Gallifrey 1, you'll see people with ribbon chains that are, I don't know, football fields long. It's crazy. Another thing, a game, you can always just, it's a little card game, Flux, you might be familiar with it. If you're not, it's a card game, and it doesn't take up much space. And if you meet up friends, you're waiting in line, it's good to have on you. And of course, when you get to the convention, you'll get a program guide. So this having a backpack means you don't have to carry it separately, because when you get to the convention, you have all this stuff, you need a place to put it. So not only can you store all the stuff you brought to the convention, you can store the stuff you get at the convention. And so those are some of the ideas that I had for what you might want to bring with you. And if you get some ideas, write us at podcast@animecons.tv, or leave us a voicemail at 762-ADEQUATE. That's 762-233-7828. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.